I'm going to call this interview Cut and Action. My guest is Emil KASCHKA. Emil, thank you for letting me come here and speak to you. That's very nice.
Well, of course.
Emil,
Thanks.
you are making a film, or nearly completing a film. Tell us a bit about the film in general. What's it about and everything else?
It was a big project which started in January. So that was where the idea struck me, and I started to write the book. And the writing part took me like 2-3 months, and then I started with the production. So I looked for a team, I looked for producers, for a cameraman, and then we started and we shot in July, and are now coming to an end with a picture lock.
Emil, what is the film about?
It's a little highly psychological story, actually. It's about, on the one hand, about the end of a long-term relationship and about difficulties of letting someone go. On the other hand, it's about a Tyrolean girl who came to Vienna really young to study, to work, and comes back to Tyrol 8 years later to her family and to say farewell to her first boyfriend. And also there is the theme, the topic of letting someone go. And the story is like told in only 2 days. It's only 2 days of time, and everything is in it.
So it's all about a Tyrolean girl who comes to Vienna to study and 8 years later goes home and says goodbye to her first boyfriend.
Yeah.
So they've had this relationship for 8 years.
No, it's not. There's also another boy involved. So she comes to Tyrol with her actual boyfriend, and so it's the two of them saying farewell to her first boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So for this film, you wrote the book, you wrote the script, and made the film. So did you write this script especially for film or for a book, if you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand it, because I try out a lot of genres, but and media types, but it was especially for the film. So it was when I say I wrote the book, I mean a Drehbuch. I mean actually a script. Yeah, a script in English.
Sure. So you wrote the script, you wrote the book.
Yeah.
And then you had to start making this film. How did that actually work?
It worked together with in cooperation with the Film Academy, the place where I'm studying. So that made things a lot easier, because we had access to a lot of expensive film equipment. And of course, since I'm studying there already for 2 years, I had contact to a lot of good young film makers, to producers, to a camera guy, to editing woman, a really good one. So I put together the team, and we started producing it and planning everything, and it was a lot of work, of course.
How many people did you need for this team?
A lot. It was my biggest project by now. So I just wrote the credits a few days ago, so I know it exactly. We were like 16 people just on the crew on set every day. 16 people on set, plus always between 2 and 5 actors. And then we had different a scene in Vienna where we had 50 actors, where also you took part, friendly wise. But the whole team involved, so also with the professors who helped us, with my parents who supported me, we were like more than 100 people.
100 people?
Yeah.
And of course, not everybody can do all the jobs, so you had to find lighting technicians, this and that. Tell us a bit about this. How did you actually find these fantastic people?
The good thing about the Film Academy is that they every year they accept a class of 20 people, and for those 20 people are separated because they always take 4 people from each department, they take 4 people from script writing, 4 people from producing, 4 people camera, 4 people editing, 4 people directing. So in my class, I knew already a really good editing woman, a really good cameraman, really good producers. So that were the first contacts, and they know then knew other contacts.
Very, very interesting. You say cameraman, editing. These things have changed over the years, haven't they? I was on your set. I didn't see a camera.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about the modern way of making films.
I'm probably not the best person to compare, because I started with making film 2 or 3 years ago. But of course, everything got on the technical side, everything got smaller and lighter, but probably also more complex.
But it's all digital now.
It's all digital, yeah.
So you haven't actually got a film running through the...
No. They stopped this 10 or 15 years ago
Really?
at the Film Academy. Yeah, of course, there are certain directors who still choose for making on a real movie. But there was a very interesting story my professor told me, because he always wanted to shoot on the old film, not on digital one. And then his cameraman showed him 2 scenes of the same, and 2 scenes, and he said one of them is digital, but it is edited, so it looks like old film, vintage film, and the other is original vintage film. Can you tell the difference? And he said he could by no means tell the difference. So, yeah.
In a way, it's a means to an end, isn't it? It's something that's capturing the story you're producing. So
Yeah.
it's absolutely fine. Tell me something. How long did it take you to get this team of people together?
So the nuclear team was really fast. I remember it was when I finished the 3rd draft of the script, and I knew, okay, it's going to be good. I'm gonna make it. And I was in a train from Berlin to Vienna, so 8 hours. And I started calling everyone I wanted to be on the team. And it was in these 8 hours when I had the nuclear team together.
8 hours. And then you've got to decide a schedule.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about this. And also, before that, you've got a script, your story. And then how do you convert this script into a film? You must plan each picture or each
Exactly,
scene.
yeah.
Tell us a bit about this.
Yeah. So when the script is finished, the first thing I do is I meet with my cameraman, and then we talk a lot about the script, and we plan every picture. So we make drawings, and in the end it looks actually like the whole movie, like in a comic book, because every picture we're gonna shoot, we draw it. Not beautiful, but so we know what we talk about, we prepared. So we have a comic book of the movie, which is called a shot list, actually, or a storyboard. Storyboard. Shot list is only the technical details, and yeah, that's what we keep on working then.
So you've got the whole film planned on a storyboard in advance.
Yeah.
And on the storyboard, does it show you how long each scene is and these sort of things, and where the action comes from, left and right? Yeah,
exactly. It shows where everyone comes in. It shows all the movements, and we with a clock we time how long it's supposed to endure. Yeah.
How long it's meant to take.
How long it's meant to take, exactly. But it is to say that it's my kind of working, because Michael Haneke was my first professor, and he always said preparation is everything in movie. But I know from other directors that there are also other ways of improvising more on set, but it's not my way.
Which is the best way? I would imagine your way.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you want to get and what you prefer, because my way, it offers like a really exact, really detailed movie, and other ways maybe give you more movies which aren't feeling planned too well, but they have moments which are really, really weird because real because they happen. They are not planned. So I think it's a matter of taste also.
Matter of taste, but it's the end product that matters.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one thing. So you've got all of this great big team together. You're on the first set. How did it feel when the first time you said action and everybody started doing what you wanted them to do? How did that feel?
Well, like you described it, it should have been really beautiful. But the first scene we shot was in a car, and our main actor, she wasn't a too good car driver. So I was sitting in the back row, but I was lying on the front, so the camera wouldn't see me. And I was, fearing for my life while the two actors were driving. And I don't remember the moment when I said action. I just remember that I had a little screen, and I prayed that we won't kill and that they will play, that they are playing good. Yeah.
So how did it feel saying cut? That's enough. That must be fantastic.
Yes, it's somehow you get used to it. We shot the movie like 8 days, and you say action and cut like 100 times. Okay, not 150 times a day. So yeah. And
of course, you make this film in different locations, I believe, or different places. Can you make different scenes that happen in the same place but different times in the storybook? How does that work?
Exactly. If you plan a movie, often, especially the production department, they want you, if you have one location, okay, let's shoot everything in this location right now. Also, when the first scenes happen in this location and the last scene, and although there is happening a lot between us, they say, please shoot it here in this location so we don't have to come here again. But that was something I tried to avoid because I really focused on the actors, and I wanted them to feel the development of the story. So we didn't do that. We really shot the movie chronological, except of one scene, which was at night, and we did it at the last day because we shot until 4 in the morning, and of course it had to be the last day because otherwise we would have lost the day.
Is it, or was it, sometimes frustrating not getting it quite right? Because when I was there, you tried 100 times.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a bit about this feeling of when's it going to work?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think the worst part is not that you don't get it right. The worst part is that you don't know if you don't get it right. So I see a scene when I on set and it feels good, but I always know, okay, this feeling must not be true, because it also happened to me that I shot a scene which felt good on set, but afterwards in the editing room felt bad, and also the other way around. I had scenes they felt bad at the set, but in the editing room turned out to be good. So I really always did a lot of takes because I wanted to cover everything and to get out the best possible result later. Yeah.
You mentioned a second ago. The length these things take and everything else, and surprises. What sort of surprises do you get in the way of bad weather happening, and what sort of things wreck your plans somehow?
Uh-huh. There are a lot of things which can normally happen. In our case, we were really lucky. We had one day shooting in the mountains where it was really stormy. So this was kind of an adventure, also because we were shooting out at almost 2,000 meters in the mountains. So the way up was kind of exciting and also dangerous. We had my dad who drove us because he's used to driving in the mountains, but the filmmakers of Vienna, of course, not. So he saved us on this day, and luckily we were up there and it was raining and storming. But around midday, I remember there were like 3 dry hours. And we shot the best and most beautiful scene of the movie we shot in those 3 hours.
So you say mountains. Which mountains are we talking about?
We're talking about the Alps in Tyrol. Exactly about KASCHKA it's called. It's like in my hometown, Pfaffenhofen, a small village, 1,000 people on the foot of a mountain. And KASCHKA is like the local mountain there.
I mean, you've got lots of local mountains.
True.
It's also you were 2,000 meters up a mountain.
Almost, yeah.
Bad weather, and then it cleared, and you got the most. This is a question of chance, isn't it?
It is, and movie always is. It's a question of chance and presence you get from actors or from the weather or from animals, or the most beautiful scenes. They are happen because something which is not planned comes to it, and this part of movie making you can plan everything, but something will happen which is not planned, and then you have to use it for your movie.
That could be nice as well, can't it?
Of course, yeah, it can be nice and it can be like really frustrating, yeah.
I can understand that. What was the name of this movie?
It's called Ins wilde Land. Ins wilde Land.
Ins wilde Land, in the wild country.
We're still thinking about an English title, because of course there will be translations and we will hand it into English-speaking festivals. But I think it will be called Into the Wild Lands.
Into the Wild Lands. That sounds very, very nice. You just mentioned festivals. You made this film to put in festivals in the first place. Tell us a bit about the festivals that this is going to hopefully appear in.
Yeah, so festivals are actually the only way for a young movie maker to show himself to the bigger world, to the bigger producers who maybe later finance a bigger project. And they are all over Europe, they are all over the world. You send in your movie, and most times they accept between 10 or 20 movies, but they get 200 or even more movies. So you have to be chosen by a jury, and then they show you, and at the end, in the best way, you have a list with 5 to 10 festivals where your movie was shown, and you put it on your CV, and that helps you to get another movie financed. So it's like on a ladder. You make movies, you hope they will be shown at festivals, and the prestige you get from the festivals will help you to make bigger movies.
How interesting. And how long is the film?
The first rough cut was like 28 minutes. Now we are at 20 minutes, so it was a long process to last a month. But it will be just under 20 minutes, which is also the perfect length for festivals.
Festivals, does this mean the film's in English or in German?
It's in German, but for festivals, actually, you always have to hand it in with subtitles. Mostly it's English subtitles, but there are festivals in Spain who want Spanish subtitles, in Italy with Italy subtitles, yeah.
So you've got to be flexible.
You got to be flexible and know some translators, yeah.
Okay. At which point are you now in this film? Where are you on the road to completion?
We just finished the picture lock, which means the editing of the picture is done, and now we're going over to the sound design. Now there will be the same process, the same work we did with the pictures and the editing will now happen to the sound, which is often not put enough emphasis on it, because sound is like 50% of the movie. And then we go to the color grading, which will also change the pictures, and will put like a good atmosphere that all the pictures have the same look, like if they are out of the same movie. And then we go to the sound mix, Tonmischung.
The sound mix, is that where you combine the sound and the picture?
Exactly, yeah.
So it's not so easy. It's not a question of filming and the sound's automatically there.
Unfortunately, there is sound, but mostly it's a disturbing sound, because you always hear the cameraman, or you hear an animal you don't want to hear, or you hear a car passing by. And
you can cut all of these sounds out.
Yeah, you can cut them out, and there are even tricks nowadays with the technology where you don't cut sound out, but you can just neutralize certain ways of sound. So in my last movie, I saw a professional sound designer, and he just cleared out a car passing by without cutting it out. It was it's a technical thing. I don't know how they do it.
So incredible.
They are magicians.
Emil, every story has a beginning. How old were you, or where were you when you first got interested in making films?
in making films, it happened really late. I was always really interested in films since I remember, because we didn't have a TV, so film was like something really special, like sweets, something you don't get every day, just only rarely, and it's special. And into making movies, it was first I got interested into writing movies. It was like 3 years ago, and then only later when I got to know what a director actually is doing on set, and I saw a director is doing the same as a writer does. He's telling a story, not with words, but with people in pictures, and that's when I got interested in also making movies as director.
This is your first film as director?
Yeah, I made some like Übungsfilme, like
so practice
films, but this is my real serious work, yeah.
And this is because you're at the Film Academy in Vienna. Just very briefly, Emil, tell us a little bit about the Film Academy.
Yeah, it's one of the most renowned one of the most renowned film academies in the world. So the last 5 years they got elected from the Hollywood Reporter, which is a film magazine, to the best 15 film academies in the world. It was especially because Michael Haneke, like the big director who also won Oscar and 2 times in Cannes, he was a professor there, but 2 years ago or 1 year ago he retired. So now there are a lot of changes. I hope they will keep their level.
Most changes are for the better. So this is your first serious film. Are there going to be more serious films?
I hope so. Of course, it a bit of depends on how this film will, if this film will be successful. But there's surely going to be more. Yeah, a few days ago I already wrote a concept for a new short movie, but it will be a smaller one talking about financial stuff.
Financial stuff. So you're going from splitting up in Tyrol to financial things. How very, very interesting. Of course, performing arts. You're in performing arts. This is the Film Academy is part of the University of Darstellende Kunst.
Yeah.
It's in Vienna. So just very briefly, what other forms of performing arts are you involved in?
I never did acting, actually, although the biggest acting school in Vienna is at the MDW. But outside of the Film Academy, I do poetry slam. You could maybe count this as kind of acting and performing. That's it.
Poetry slam is a very, very big performance. And you won first prize in a competition recently.
In the Austrian national championships, yeah.
Congratulations. Emil, so when will you be finished with this film?
It will be finished in end of October or beginning of November. We're not quite sure, but it will be around this time.
A moment you're looking forward to?
Really, really hard. Like almost a year then.
A year you've been working on it, so it's almost there. What are your wishes for the future, except to see this film a big success, maybe?
To see this film a big success and to get the opportunity to make another film, yeah.
Well, in this sense, we wish you all the best. Emil KASCHKA, thank you very, very much for talking to us. A very interesting short discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.